Cool. So what I have for you today for the demo is paper piecing, not like the triangles on the roll, which was paper piecing, but this is paper piecing blocks. And I wanted to show you a quick demo on what that is, who sells it, what paper pads there are out there. So we'll just go ahead and get started. So these paper pads are sold by It's So Emma. And what they are, and I'll just kind of briefly show you this. I was working on this before the live. So here's my block. It's a log cabin, right? You see that. But on the back is where you build your block. And that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So these are just for people that love foundation paper piecing. This is like a beginner type crash course in foundation paper piecing. They have lots of different paper pads. This is a 4-inch square and a square. There's that one. And then you have 6-inch log cabin. And then you can kind of see the there. And then pineapple block, 6-inch. And here are those. The economy paper piecing pad, and that is the front. And that is inside. And then we go, now these come in very numerous sizes. These flying geese come in, I think, 4 different sizes. I only got the 3x6. But I got these to maybe go around panels, to do a quick border around panels. And you do 2 at a time. And that's what that looks like. And evidently I thought I was going to do a lot because I got two. Here at the shop we have Snail's Trail. And this is what that one looks like. And then here's the big economy quilt block foundation paper. So here's the cover. And here's the inside. Then we have the pineapple one in the 12-inch. And that's the inside. And then today's demo is going to be on the log cabin. So that's the front cover. And here is the inside of the pad. So we're going to talk about the inside of that here in just a second. Let me clear off my desk here.
While you're doing that, one of our newest, bestest friends, Miss Peggy Vogt, is on watching us. And
oh, hello, Miss Peggy.
We hope she's doing well.
Yes.
She's shut in right now, so.
Oh, well, we hope you are doing well, Miss Peggy. Okay, so inside the log cabin paper piecing pad, you will see instructions. All right. Now, I'm one of the ones sometimes that says, instructions, whatever.
Sometimes?
Yes. But I definitely think that you should read the instructions for this particular one. Especially if you haven't paper pieced before, or you're very new like myself. So, what I'm going to talk to you about is on each of these paper pads here, you're going to see this. All right, so you have 1 through 13. All right. Now, in the front cover, it has how much you should cut for your light and how much you should cut for your dark fabrics. And it has the measurements for each one of those rectangles. All right. It does tell you the instructions on how to do it. I'm going to show you a quick demo on it, but you can also go out to YouTube and you can YouTube search foundation paper piecing It's So Emma. And if you need to watch a more visual, go through the whole thing, then that is available to you. All right. So how I would figure this out. First of all, I have already pre-cut all of my strips. I was a good girl. I pre-cut them all. And if I wanted to make sure that this is exactly what I wanted to do, and I got them in order so that I can show you, I would just do a rough layout to make sure that this is what, see, I almost messed up. That was 4. This is 5.
I would have corrected you.
I know you would have. This is my shocked face. That is 7. And I think this, yep, that's 8. So you wanna lay it all out because you wanna make sure. So that's 8. That's 9.
9 comes next.
That was 9. This is 10. This is 11. This is 12. And this is 13.
Ta-da!
So that would be my block. Alright? Now, not to scale, obviously, because nothing's pieced in. But I wanted to show you that it's important to see kind of where you're going with your paper piecing. Alright? So what we're going to do is I'm going to carefully put these back because I don't want to lose my placement, because I am going to finish this out. Here. It's like a puzzle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So those are all the pieces. Now, when you first start your very first foundation paper piecing piece is always right side up in the number 1. Now, in the instructions, it tells you that the number 1 spot has to be an exact 2.5 inch square. All right, so this is what a 2.5 inch square is. And what I have found that to be easy is you use the Sewline fabric glue pens, and you find the center of your fabric. That's, to me, the best way to start. All right. And what you're going to do is, if you have a light box, this is where you would put this on the light box, right? And you would use it to attach it. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what these lines are and what this tool is. So this tool is called Add a Quarter Plus, and there's a reason why it's named plus. I don't know if you can see that, Kathy, but do you see the slope of the ruler, how it goes into an angle?
Yes.
Okay. So that is to help you crease your papers. All right. The first versions was just was blunt. It didn't have this little gradual slope. So what I do is I come in and I pull my paper up and I'm making my crease. See that? I'm making my crease. And it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. You just want to get in the general vicinity as much as you can on the lines here. So I'm just going to kind of go like that. And you don't have to like really crease it because you're going to do that in a little bit. But what this does is it kind of helps you put the square in the correct space. All right? So because I let that air dry, let me do that again. So what you're going to do is you're going to visually place that so that you have a visual a 1/4 inch all the way around. And to check it, you can always hold it up to the light. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I think I need to come maybe ever so slightly, like so. Now blue will go away because it dries clear. So that would be right side up. Now you don't actually build your block on the printed side. You actually build your block on the back side of the paper. And then you take right sides together, your number 2 piece, and you find where number 2 is. So this is number 2. And you can always check here too. See, Kathy, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see my 1/4 inch all the way around, right?
Yep. So
from there, I know that my 2 is going to be on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up. And I'm going to take, I always do like 1 or 2 pins. Now bear with me, I'm not the best pinner here, so. And honestly, what that is there to do is to transfer it over to the sewing machine so that it doesn't shift on you. All right. So Kathy, we're gonna go to the sewing machine, and we're gonna sew on this line here. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that's nice and flat underneath the machine, and then we're gonna take the pins and I'm gonna pinch down so that my fabric doesn't move. Now you're gonna start about a 1/4 inch away from that line, and we're going to lower our stitch length. Sorry, wrong thing. We are going to do about a 1.6 or a 1.4. We'll do this to 1.6. All right, and then we're just going to sew that line. And I'm going to go just a little bit more. And it's a 1/4 inch away from the line. both sides. Alright, so then we're going to come back over to here. Sorry, Kathy, it's a lot of back and forth on this. And you're going to take this and you're gonna press. Now, I will tell you, I don't like how big this is, so we're gonna go ahead and trim this. So we're gonna bend it at the 1 and the 2, that line that I made, the 1 and the 2. And then I'm going to go here, and what's really cool about this ruler, again, is there's a lip. You see the lip on that side? This lip right here?
Yep.
Okay, so that gets butted against that paper. And guess what? This is a 1/4 inch. So you take your rotary cutter.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? And it gives you your 1/4 inch. If I can get my thing off there. Alright. So then, when I'm ready, so now I'm ready to seam press this piece over. Like so. And now I'm ready to do number 3. Alright, so I'm ready to do piece number 3. So before I do piece number 3, I locate it on the opposite side of my paper. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pull this down. And I'm going to go ahead and trim my 1/4 inch. Now sometimes you'll see that it's hung up right here. And that's perfectly acceptable. You're going to pop that stitch a little bit. Just like that. And it's okay if the paper rips a little bit. That's perfectly fine. You're going to go ahead and cut that. And you're ready at this point to add number 3. So now I know number 3 is over here. So I know I'm going to be lining up this right here. And I'm going to pin again. See, I told you I'm not the best pinner.
Sherry said she needs one of those roly pressing gadgets.
Ah, seam presses. They're amazing. Alright, so now I'm ready to sew on this line here. Alright? So again, I come over to the sewing machine, make sure my stuff is flat underneath. And this time I did right because I pinned on the opposite side. So it can stay pinned. And I'm going to put my foot down, and then I'm going to sew. And my foot pedal has gone away.
Patty said she's always wondered what an add-a-quarter ruler was for.
Oh.
Thank you for showing.
You're very welcome. This is one of my most favoriteest techniques is paper piecing.
Is that a word? Favorite?
Yes, it is today.
Okay.
So then you come back over, take your pins out, and you press that over. And that goes like that. So you would continue this process until you got to the very end. So I have this one in, so I have gone all the way through number 5. I've done 5 pieces. And you would literally just keep doing the exact same process. Before you add a fabric, you always want to trim. That's one thing that I seem to forget a lot of times is if you're not starting with a 1/4 inch, it might be disastrous. Alright, so this is number 5. So if I was ready to do number 6, I would come over to number 6 and I would crease my paper. And you'll notice that all these have snuck up on me. And that's okay. Again, you just pop those stitches like that. And you see that I have many different seam allowances and extra over here. That's okay. This is where this ruler comes in. And I'm a little scant there. It happens. And from there, I am ready to add number 6. Well, number 6 would have been 1, 2, I think it's the gray. Yes, it's the gray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6. So you come over here and you would add your number 6, pin again, take it to the machine. You would sew on this line, a 1/4 inch from this line, so So a 1/4 inch all the way here, and then you would do the same process for every single rectangle until you got to number 13. Now, when you get done with your paper piecing, Kathy, you might have to get up a little close here. So you'll see here it says do not trim on this line, and then it says trim on this line. So you'll take your quilting ruler. I don't have one right here. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to trim it. But you're just going to hold your ruler up there, take your rotary cutter, and cut. And that's how you square your block to be joined with another block or sashing or however you want to put your blocks together. Another thing that's really cool is inside these books, this one doesn't have it. I think it's this one. Let's see. They show you layouts. So this is like layouts. How big, how many squares you would need to do a certain amount for beds, quilts. So that is the paper piecing part. Oh, also too, now I am not an Alabama fan, so I don't want to have no hateful comments, but I'm doing this for one of my best friends, and yes, I've been working on it for like 2 years. That's okay. Slow and steady wins the race. Just remember that, people. This right here is the economy block, and I want you to see what the other side looks like. So I chose not to piece all of these in here. I wanted her big focal block to be her team. So you'll see this dashed line here. That's the line that I can use for putting one single square down. And then once I was done, I came over here, I trimmed all the way around, and then this one's ready to be pieced with sashing. And I'm going to do a quilt with all of these, and then I'm going to rip my paper out. I don't rip my paper before because it helps stabilize the block. That's just my own personal preference. But you can rip your paper out of the seams before you do this step, but I feel like it helps stabilize the fabric. Just a personal preference.
So gators.
Yes. Who said that?
I did.
Yay! Yes. So anywho, I know if Sherry is still watching, I'm sure. Yeah, go Knowles or whatever. Yeah. So anywho, but other than that, I think that was all that I had for you today. It was a lengthy demo. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, put them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Kathy, do you have any parting words?
For your sewing pleasure today, we were using a Brother PS 700 we have in the store.
Yes, it's a great little machine.
You heard how quiet it is.
Oh, it's such a quiet machine.
Yep.
Such a quiet machine. I agree. All right, well, I guess if that's it for Kathy, it's it for me.